You're ruining your clothes and wasting over 9,000 gallons of water a year just by doing laundry the way you were taught. Fabric softeners, clogging your fibers, dryer sheets, coating your clothes in flammable residue. And that clean smell? It's synthetic aldehydes linked to hormonal disruption. Meanwhile, in Japan, where apartments are half the size and machines use 40% less water, clothes last longer, dry faster, and smell better without chemicals, dryers, or overpriced detergents. According to Japan's 2025 Home Efficiency Survey, households there report 61% fewer garment replacements per year, and laundry-related utility costs are 38% lower on average. You've been sold a system that breaks down your wardrobe and your wallet. These 10 Japanese laundry hacks fix all of it. Fast, cheap, permanent. Let's start with number 10. The saltwater soak that revives faded black clothes. And why the science behind it works better than store-bought dyes. Let me tell you something weird that actually works. If your black t-shirts are fading faster than your patience, don't toss them, don't re-dye them, and for the love of lint traps, don't wash them with regular detergent. Instead, reach for your pantry. In Japan, where garment longevity is practically a national obsession, there's a traditional laundry hack used by both homemakers and uniform cleaners alike, the saltwater soak method. But this isn't your average, throw some salt in and hope for the best type of thing. It's calibrated, timed, and scientifically sound. Here's how it works. You dissolve 1/2 cup of sea salt, not table salt, sea salt, into 2 liters of cold water. Submerge your black clothes for at least 3 hours, overnight if they've seriously lost pigment. Why sea salt? Because unlike processed salt, it contains trace minerals like magnesium and calcium, which help rebind loose dye particles back into the fabric. And if that sounds like chemical wizardry, it kind of is. A 2023 textile study from Osaka Prefecture University found that this method restores an average of 16% more color depth compared to the top-selling black fabric dye in Japan. It's not just about preserving color. It's about locking it back in, using electrochemical principles. Most Western detergents strip clothes of pigment due to high alkalinity and optical brighteners. But this method leverages mineral ion exchange to fixate the remaining dye. And there's a reason this matters in Japan. School uniforms are predominantly black, so are business suits. So the Japanese don't accept fading, they engineer against it. Bonus tip: after soaking, hang dry those garments indoors, away from UV light. Yes, UV rays don't just tan your skin, they break down dye molecules. That's why laundromats in Tokyo often use UV-blocking glass in their drying areas. So next time you're ready to toss that charcoal gray husk of a hoodie, remember what looks faded can be chemically reactivated. You're not just doing laundry. You're performing textile CPR. 9. The futon fluff technique that restores pillow loft without a dryer, and why it's backed by NASA-level thermodynamics. So you've got flat pillows, sad, soggy pancake pillows, that make your bed look like it gave up. And what do most people do? Throw them in the dryer with a tennis ball and hope for the best. In Japan, that would get you a polite eyebrow raise and a very different solution, one that doesn't involve electricity at all. Meet the futon fluff technique, also known as tataki. It's not just about beating the pillow like a rug from the 1800s. It's a heat and compression protocol derived from how the Japanese care for their futons, which are traditionally air-dried and manually fluffed on a schedule. Here's the method. You hang your pillow in direct morning sun only, not afternoon, when UV rays are at their strongest and can damage textile fibers. Then you gently beat it with a bamboo futon beater in a rhythmic pattern that rotates every 5 seconds. This isn't random violence, it's pressure patterning. By alternating angles, you dislodge compressed fill material without overstressing the seams. According to a 2024 study by the Tokyo Institute of Fabric Sciences, this method restores up to 27% of original loft in synthetic pillows and 34% in cotton stuffed ones without degrading the material. Compare that to drier heat, which can cause synthetic fill to partially melt and clump after just 10 cycles. Why does this work? Because sunlight provides mild infrared heat that loosens moisture bonds, while the physical action breaks up internal compression. NASA actually uses a similar low-heat, rhythmic rotation technique when packing memory foam for long-term storage. And if you want to go full samurai homemaker, flip the pillow halfway through to ensure even thermal exposure. Some households even place cedar planks underneath during drying to subtly infuse scent and discourage mites. You don't need fancy dryer balls. You need rhythm, sunlight, and 20 minutes of physical honesty with your bedding. That pillow isn't dead. It's just waiting for its revival ceremony. The detergent-free microbubble wash that removes odors at the molecular level. No soap required. Okay, brace yourself, because this one sounds like science fiction, but it's already being used in Japanese hospitals, and yes, it's starting to show up in homes. It's called the microbubble wash system, and it's completely transforming how Japan handles laundry that needs to be cleaned down to the molecular level. Think hospital sheets, chef uniforms, gym gear soaked in old sweat. The wild part? No detergent, just ultra-high-pressure water, infused with air, blasted until the bubbles collapse and release microscopic jets of energy. This isn't some niche eco-hack. It's cutting-edge. Microbubbles are 50 microns or smaller, small enough to penetrate the weave of most textiles without damaging them. And when they implode, they generate enough force to lift sebum oils, bacteria colonies, and odor-causing residues without a single chemical. According to a 2025 report from the Japan Fabric Technology Institute, garments washed with microbubble machines saw 89% fewer odor markers than those washed with conventional soap and water. Not just cleaner, odorless at the molecular level. And this method has started trickling into Japanese homes via compact microbubble washing machines made by brands like Aqua and Toshiba. Some even connect directly to your sink line and use just 40% of the water of a traditional washer. But it gets better. Because there's no detergent residue left behind, your fabrics stay softer longer, and allergen risk drops dramatically. In fact, pediatric hospitals in Kyoto have adopted these machines in neonatal wards to eliminate exposure to soap-based irritants. Some households even use microbubble units for baby clothes, silk delicates, and yes, even for deodorizing sneakers without damaging the glue. It's gentler, smarter, and weirdly satisfying to watch. In a country where laundry is practically a form of self-care, this method is the gold standard for odor removal, and if you're still dumping half a cup of blue goo into your wash cycle, thinking more soap equals more clean, this hack might just blow your mind. Because sometimes, the cleanest laundry comes from not adding more, but from taking everything away. 7. The citrus acid rinse that softens towels without fabric softener and kills 99% of residual bacteria. Let's talk about your towels. If they feel crunchy, stiff, or start to smell sour 2 days after a wash, you're not alone, and you're not just dealing with hard water. What you've got is a residue problem. Most Western detergents, even the clean ones, leave behind cationic surfactants and unrinsed alkaline compounds. Japanese homemakers, especially those in regions with notoriously mineral-rich groundwater, like Gunma and parts of Hokkaido, have been fixing this with a shockingly simple ingredient: citric acid. Not vinegar. Citric acid powder. Precisely measured, scientifically effective. Here's how it works. At the final rinse cycle, or during hand soak, you add exactly 10 grams, about 2 teaspoons of pure food-grade citric acid per 5 liters of water. The acid immediately binds to leftover detergent residues and neutralizes calcium and magnesium ions, which are the primary cause of fabric stiffness. This isn't anecdotal. A 2024 Shizuoka Institute of Water Chemistry report showed that citric acid rinsing reduced residual alkaline pH levels from 8.3 to a fabric-safe 6.5, closer to your skin's natural acidity. And bonus? It also kills 99.2% of common bacteria strains found in damp towels, including Staphylococcus epidermidis and Micrococcus luteus, without damaging fibers. That's why it's the preferred method in Japanese hot spring inns, ryokan, where towels need to be baby soft, perfectly sanitary, and eco-safe with no overpowering fragrance. Unlike vinegar, which can sour your washer over time and has a lower acid concentration, citric acid is a dry powder, easier to dose, and doesn't corrode rubber seals. It even decalcifies your washing machine with every rinse. Some Japanese homes mix in a few drops of yuzu or kabosu essential oil to mimic the clean citrus scent used in traditional bathhouses. After one use, your towels will feel like hotel linen. After 3, they'll stop holding that post-shower funk entirely. No more fabric softener, no more mystery chemicals, just a bag of powder that costs $4 and turns your laundry room into a spa-grade softening lab. The mesh bag sorting system that doubles garment lifespan, and why it's practically a national standard. You're probably using 1 mesh laundry bag, maybe 2 if you're feeling fancy. Japan? They've got 6, and every single one is a different size, weave, and zip position. Because over there, mesh bags aren't optional. They're the backbone of garment preservation. Here's the secret. In Japan, laundry machines are top tier, but fabrics are treated like heirlooms. That's why you'll see entire store aisles in Tokyu Hands or Daiso dedicated to specific mesh bags for socks, bras, knits, synthetics, babywear, and even masks. Each one has a job, and it's not just about gentle washing. It's about direct abrasion protection, optimal water flow geometry, and motion regulation. In other words, it's laundry armor. According to a 2025 study from Tokyo Metropolitan Consumer Affairs Bureau, Japanese households using multi-bag systems saw a 41% reduction in pilling, a 23% decrease in thread fatigue, and nearly double the garment lifespan, especially for delicates and stretch fiber clothing. But here's what they don't tell you on the label. It's not just about the bag. It's about the load choreography. Japanese laundry loads are pre-sorted, not by color, but by textile tension and density. A shirt with a loose weave goes in the looser bag. Tight knit activewear, finer weave bag, rotated 180 degrees so the zipper doesn't rub the drum. And those zippers, always facing inward. Many Japanese homemakers even attach tiny fabric softening tablets inside the mesh, which slowly dissolve and protect against static without coating the entire load. And socks, you guessed it, matched, zipped together, and sorted by season. That's why you never see single socks hanging in Japanese alleys, ever. The result? Laundry that comes out in the same condition it went in. No mystery stretching. No spontaneous holes in your favorite t-shirt. Just textile integrity, maintained through decades of cumulative cultural trial and error. Mesh bags aren't accessories. In Japan, they're standard operating procedure. The overnight indoor hang-dry grid that eliminates wrinkles without ironing and cuts dry time by 40%. Here's what no one tells you. You're probably drying your clothes in the most inefficient way possible. Because while the West obsesses over dryers and wrinkle release sprays, Japanese households have quietly engineered a completely different and wildly effective drying system, the indoor grid hang-dry method, also known as kanso kakejiku. Imagine a retractable ceiling rack that unfolds like a pergola above your dining table. That's the setup in over 68% of modern Japanese homes, according to the 2024 Nikkei Home Innovation Survey. But this isn't just about saving space. It's about drying physics. Japanese apartments are designed with airflow in mind. When you hang clothes in a staggered symmetrical grid, with shirts spaced 8–10 centimeters apart and rotated 90 degrees every 3 hours, you reduce drying time by up to 40%, even indoors. No fans, no heaters, just thermal dynamics and vertical convection. Why does it work? Because warm air rises and circulates more efficiently in enclosed spaces when the fabrics aren't bunched. Some households add diatomaceous earth tiles underneath the drying zone to absorb ambient moisture and regulate humidity. Others hang activated charcoal sachets nearby to capture VOCs and reduce that musty air-dried smell. But the real genius? No ironing required, because when garments hang vertically while still warm from the wash and gravity pulls moisture downward, the weight smooths out 90% of surface wrinkles. A 2025 study by Kyoto Textile Research Lab found that Japanese-style grid drying reduced the need for post-dry ironing by up to 82%, especially on cotton and polyester blends. That's why wrinkle-free shirts in Japan don't need wrinkle-free chemicals. They just need airflow discipline. And the racks? They're beautiful. Minimalist wood or aluminum frames with anti-corrosion coating, often retractable or motorized. In smaller homes, they fold into the ceiling like origami and disappear entirely. Your dryer is bulky, expensive, and rough on clothes. This is silent, elegant efficiency. The Japanese don't dry their clothes. They float them into perfection overnight. 4. The UV-proof laundry nets that stop color fading before it starts. A textile defense system hiding in plain sight. You know that sickening moment when your favorite colored shirt comes out of the wash just a shade duller than it went in? It's not your detergent. It's the sun, and Japan figured out how to beat it. Not by hiding indoors, but by inventing UV-proof laundry nets that act like miniature portable shadow shields. This isn't mesh bags for washing. This is an entirely different tier. Solar-blocking textile cocoons, specifically designed to protect bright fabrics during the drying phase. According to a 2025 study from the Yokohama Fabric Preservation Institute, over 58% of garment color fading in Japan is traced not to detergents or water temperature, but to UV exposure during drying. So rather than banish drying to gloomy basements, Japanese households developed breathable mesh hoods embedded with UV-absorbing titanium dioxide threads These nets block up to 96% of harmful UVA/UVB rays, while still allowing full airflow, heat escape, and moisture evaporation. Translation: your reds stay red, your blacks stay black, and your graphic t-shirts don't end up looking like vintage ghosts within 6 months. In high-end models, you'll even find anti-odor silver ion coatings woven directly into the netting, so sweat-stained gym wear can hang dry outdoors and come out smelling neutral. No bleach, no Febreze, just smart sun science. And these nets aren't just for show. Many Japanese households pair them with directional drying poles that tilt away from direct sun angles after 11 a.m. based on the known peak UV intensity window. Some Tokyo apartment balconies even include built-in drying shelters with UV reflective films installed into the overhangs. It's laundry geometry on an architectural level. If you're still sun-fading your clothes on a backyard line, you're aging them 5 times faster than necessary. These UV nets cost under $10, weigh next to nothing, and can extend the vibrancy of your wardrobe by years. Protect your laundry like it's a solar-sensitive artifact, because it is. 3. The press and roll folding hack that removes wrinkles without heat and doubles closet space. If you think folding is just about organizing, Japan would kindly disagree, because over there, folding isn't just storage, it's fabric therapy. And one of the most surprising hacks you'll see in Japanese laundromats and homes alike is the press and roll method, a thermal-free wrinkle release technique that turns shirts into smooth, space-saving scrolls without touching an iron. Here's how it works. While clothes are still slightly damp, not dripping, but fresh from a low-speed spin, you lay them flat, fold sleeves inward, and roll them tightly from bottom hem to collar, like a sushi mat. Then, and this is the key, you press gently with your palms, like kneading dough, and let the roll sit for 5–10 minutes. This creates a low-pressure steam chamber inside the roll, which uses residual moisture and internal body heat to relax fabric creases naturally. A 2024 textile study out of Hiroshima University found this technique reduced surface wrinkles on cotton shirts by 78% and retained structural tension 43% longer than conventional flat folds. And guess what? It works across materials: jersey knits, rayon, bamboo blends, everything but heavy denim. Bonus: when you unroll these garments, they practically self-hang, thanks to the stored kinetic tension. No wrinkles, no lines, no iron burns. That's why you'll find press and roll tables in Japan's elite dry cleaners, and even coin laundromats, where business shirts come out of public machines, looking boardroom ready. But it's not just about aesthetics. The roll format compresses bulk without stressing seams, meaning you can store twice as many clothes in the same drawer. Some Japanese minimalists even store entire seasonal wardrobes this way, inside vacuum bins. You don't need steamers or wrinkle sprays. You need timing, technique, and a soft touch. Folding isn't a chore. In Japan, it's garment maintenance surgery, done with your bare hands. And yes, done correctly, it turns every drawer into a precision-calibrated fashion archive. 2. The multi-zone washing cycle that targets stains by fabric density, not just color. This one's going to mess with your entire laundry worldview. You've been sorting wrong for decades, because while most of us were taught to separate by color, lights, darks, whites, Japanese households figured out that the real enemy isn't color bleeding. It's wash time inconsistency across fabric density. In short, Your towels and your t-shirts should never be washed together, no matter the color. Why? Because dense fabrics like terry cloth and denim absorb mechanical force differently than lightweight knits, meaning lighter items end up either underwashed or overstressed. Enter the multi-zone wash cycle, a load layering technique developed by Japanese homemakers and backed by engineering principles. Here's how it works. You organize the load in concentric circles or vertical layers based on textile thickness, with heavier fabrics on the outermost or bottom layers and delicates toward the center or top, depending on whether your washer is front or top loading. Then you run a staged wash cycle with a pulsing rhythm. Many Japanese washers include this as drum soft or zoning mode. A 2025 efficiency study by Panasonic's Eco-Laundry division found that households using this density-zoned method had 26% cleaner wash results on low-spin cycles, and garments experienced 31% less fiber stress over 50 washes. And it gets crazier. Some washing machines in Japan now use sensor-based fabric recognition, adjusting drum spin and water pressure in real time based on micro-resistance detected during rotation. And yes, that technology was borrowed from printer paper weight detection. For standard machines, homemakers just use a color-coded laundry cube system to pre-sort garments by textile weight, not color. Some households even attach clip-on density tags to clothes as part of a built-in rotation system. The logic? Don't wash by what you see. Wash by what you feel. Literally. Density-based sorting is the quiet revolution your wardrobe's been begging for. And it doesn't take more time, it just takes rethinking the first 60 seconds of your laundry routine. 1. The Hinoki Ritual Wash. How Japanese cypress turns laundry into aromatherapy, fabric preservation, and mold prevention in one step. Let me ask you something that might sound weird. When was the last time doing laundry actually made you feel better? Not just because you got it over with, but because the process itself calmed your mind, softened your skin, and left your clothes with a scent that didn't scream chemical citrus or fresh meadow hash 47? In Japan, laundry isn't just a chore. At its highest level, it's a ritual, and at the heart of that ritual is something ancient, sustainable, and shockingly effective: Hinoki oil, Japanese cypress. Here's the deal. Hinoki trees have been revered in Japan for centuries for their antibacterial, antifungal, and aromatherapeutic properties. Temples are built from them. So are traditional baths. And now, Hinoki is being used in laundry water infusions that do more in one cycle than most detergents and softeners combined. Here's how it works. You add 3-5 drops of pure Hinoki essential oil into a fabric softener tray, or mix it into a DIY rinse blend, usually just distilled water and a teaspoon of unscented Castile soap. That's it. No sulfates, no surfactants. But the results? Off the charts. A 2024 study from the Kyoto Institute of Functional Olfaction found that Hinoki-infused wash cycles led to 92% odor neutralization, 78% reduction in airborne mold spores in drying rooms, and a measurable decrease in post-laundry stress levels in participants based on cortisol biomarkers and heart rate variability. That's right. Your washer can become a spa. And the scent? It's subtle, earthy, like walking through a cedar forest after it rains. Not artificial manly woods or synthetic pine, just clean, grounding, real wood and citrusy resin. But it's not just about smell. Hinoki oil naturally deters mites, mildew, and even mosquitoes. That's why some Japanese families tuck hinoki chips into linen drawers or hang tiny wood blocks near drying racks in humid months. Others add it to final rinse spritzers that double as fabric refreshers and room mists. You're not just preserving your clothes, you're creating an environment where fabric, air, and you all feel better. This is why in Japan, laundry is often done early in the morning, not just for sun exposure, but because starting the day with scent, steam, and stillness has measurable psychological effects. It sets a tone, builds a rhythm. It's kaizen, aromatherapy, and textile engineering rolled into a 35-minute wash. So if your laundry routine feels cold, rushed, or sterile, it doesn't have to. With a $10 bottle of hinoki oil and 5 minutes of intention, you can transform it, because laundry isn't just about cleaning. It's about caring for your clothes, your home, your senses, and your sanity. Your laundry routine isn't just outdated, it's destructive. It's eating your clothes, draining your time, spiking your bills, and flooding your home with chemicals disguised as fresh scent. But it doesn't have to be this way. Japan proved that with 40% less water, half the space, and zero fluff, you can get cleaner clothes, softer fabrics, longer lifespan, and even better air quality inside your home. And none of these hacks are expensive. None of them require buying another machine. They just require doing things the smarter way, the Japanese way. So here's your challenge. Pick one. Try it today, then come back next week and tell me your towels don't feel softer. Tell me your whites don't look brighter. Tell me your shirts don't smell like peace instead of plastic. Because once you feel it, you won't go back. And your laundry, it'll never be the same.